Good morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Made it over here to Celina Lake. Gonna give it another try. Was here about a week ago. Didn't really do very good, but I'm gonna try it again, see what happens. Weather's turned off a little cooler. Only 85 today, 63 tonight. I'm gonna get the selvin all set up, ready to launch. Get out there and see if we can't catch some fish. You know, there's such a difference between coming like here to Celina Lake, which is really just a small lake, compared to like Patoka Lake, which is a pretty big reservoir. Two different feelings altogether. I kind of like this. You're not allowed to fire up any of your engines, so the Chrysler and the Tohatsu is going to sit idle all day. I've got my trolling motor to work, but I understand why they do that, because it's like coming here, it's so quiet. And like, you know, if I fired up the Chrysler, you know, all through these hills, there's hiking trails, so there's people out there backpacking and camping, and, you know, you fire a big engine up, you'd be waking all of them up. So I understand why they want to keep it just serene and pure wilderness, so to speak. Hey, I'm glad you came along. I really appreciate it. We're going to see if we can't flush some of these bass out of this tall grass that's out here and these standing stumps. Alright, that was a very successful launch. It's pretty easy launching here at Celina Lake. I highly suggest it. Even if you have a bigger boat, it's pretty nice. Okay. I got one fisherman out here already. Man, it looks like the perfect day. Let's get some fish. Yeah, this is southern Indiana. Beauty at its best. Nice calm morning. Winds are drifting in from the north. Celina Indian Lake Recreation Area. Hey, that right there is the Rick and Ball House. Bring your family. They've got signs, interpretive signs you can read. Very interesting. All right, largemouth bass, minimum size limit 14 inches. Do not clean fish in lake or stream. Okay, got that. Don't clean it anyways, but I got it. Hello, selvin. beautiful day to be out here. Celina Lake, southern Indiana. I would say there's probably some backpackers that are probably camping out here in the woods today. Nice trail goes all the way around. It's about a 12-mile trail, goes all the way around Celina Indian Lake Recreational Area. Pretty nice. Okay, I see where I'm going to pull up right here. Going to throw an anchor in, get everything ready, and see if I can't catch a big bass. There we go. Always nice to have a little shade. Well, I guess I'm about ready to throw a line in. You know, I come out here and honestly, if I had forgotten my fishing pose, I really don't mind that much because it's just so nice being out here. It's kind of interesting. It's so quiet too. There's a few more fishermen out here now. And it's not like Patoka Lake where it's so giant, you know. Here it's more intimate. You know, the people aren't that far away, and so, you know, I want to be able to talk a little softer so I'm not interrupting everybody's fishing time. Cheers to a good day. It's the end of July, the very last day in July 2023. Let's try to do some fishing. Let's enjoy the day. Hey, glad you got to take the time off and come along. First fish of the day. Lost him, but he was a big bass. Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the larger bass that I've ever caught. Got him right up here to the edge, went to grab the net, he got off. Oh well, that's the way it goes. We'll see if we can't tag a few more. You know, since the last time I've been out fishing, which was probably last week, I guess the end of last week. Oh, look at this guy. Kingfisher. Sweet. Hello, buddy. Those are beautiful birds. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on fishing and different techniques and stuff. An older gentleman, his name is Roland Martin. I believe Roland used to have a fishing show, and he's got a very successful YouTube channel now. A lot of views, a lot of subscribers. But in this one video, I was watching him, he's showing me how to tie different knots. But at the very beginning of the video, he says, you want to be a better fisherman? Be more efficient. And then he says, because if you're not and you don't tie it right and that fish gets off, what'd you do? You ruined your day. So I just lost that big bass. I mean, it was a pretty good, you know, I'm going to guess it was probably a 3-pounder. Beautiful, beautiful looking fish. Got him right up here just about the time I was going to net him, and he just jumped off. Still got this problem with trying to turn my camera on. And what I found out is on my spinning reel, as soon as I let go of the handle, and went to turn this on, my handle started spinning backwards, and so he took off, and so that gave him way too much slack, and I guess it worked the hook out. But I'm going to keep practicing that. That's my fault. You know, I notice all the fishermen have the harnesses on, and I do have a harness with me. I just don't want to do that, but I guess I may have to if I really want to get live action. So in a case like that, you would have saw that fish jump off my hook. Counting on that not ruining my day. We'll see how it goes. I just like watching good advice like that, and I think that's pretty good advice. Be efficient when you fish. got a fish in the boat. Fish in the boat. All right. Tried to switch my camera on so you get that live and in action, but it wasn't filming, so there you go. All right. Okay. So there you go. That's a nice bass right there. All right. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Grow up, come back and see me. That was actually the second fish that I'd caught today. I did not get that first one in the boat, and it was a lot bigger than that one right there. But hey, so far I've tried a lot of different things today, and this right here, H2O spinner, so far it's been doing pretty good for me. I've got the most bites on it. I think I'm going to stick with it for a while. Well, I just caught something else. A little outdoor cooler. The Easy Carry Stanley. Not sure how somebody would have lost this. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. It looks, oh, it's been chewed up right here by something. I'll keep it. Plus, cleaning up some trash here in the lake. Although you don't see much trash out here. There's very little trash out here at all. All right. Fish in the boat. I'm excited. I don't like it I missed that big one, but hey, the day's young, gonna keep on going. I think it's about time to eat some lunch, Mr. Lawrence. What do you think? I don't know. Fish are still biting. No, they're not. We ain't caught nothing in a while. Well, you never know. Catching a lot of weeds. A lot of weeds. Guess I am kind of hungry. That's what I'm talking about. Let's break it out. Boy, I tell you, I like his bait caster. His bait caster is so sweet. I don't like this wind though. This wind's messing with me. Here now I'm at the very farthest point from the boat dock at Celina Lake, back here in this cove. Anytime I come back here, the one thing I know for sure is, first of all, there's probably been, I guess, I've counted about 8 boats out here. There was a boat out here before I got here. I was the second one out. There's been about 6 more boats come out. What I've noticed is almost every one of them passed me. I was pretty close to where the boat dock was, passed me and come back here, circled around and went up the other side of the lake. I'm pretty sure that this cove that I'm sitting in right now has been fished pretty heavy by 6 other boats, 7 other boats today. Apparently they didn't do any good because they're all heading down the other shore. That doesn't bother me at all because I look at it the same as photography. It could be something that makes a great photograph, and 1,000 people can take that picture. It takes a photographer's eye to come up and look at it and realize, I don't want that angle everybody else is doing. I'm going to point the camera in a different direction. Same as fishing. I don't know what everybody threw back here. I don't know why they didn't catch anything back here. I'm willing to pull up and give it a shot myself. I've got some new things I'm trying out. That spinner that I'm using with the willow blades on it, that has been a success so far. That one bass this morning, the first thing this morning that jumped off right when I was trying to get him out of the water, that one right there was a pretty good sized bass. I'm thinking it was about a 3-pounder. The other one I caught, maybe a 1-pounder at the most, I would say. I think I'm going to just relax back here. I've got my anchor down, and I'm just going to kind of hang out and just try some things and see if anything works. And like I ordered a couple plugs for my trolling motor, I got a different battery up front. I'm kind of concerned I'm going to come out here and start doing lakes like this and drain down my deep cycle back here, and I wanted to have a reserve because that would be a mess. It'd be hard to paddle from here all the way back to the boat. I think it's just a little bit early to eat yet. Well, it's 11 o'clock air time, so it's only 10 o'clock my time. This is one of those days where the weather sure has broke. It's been almost 100 degrees for a couple days, probably 2 or 3 days in a row, and then now today I think a high is about 85. So pure leaf, no sugar. And why does Mr. Lawrence not drink sugar? Anybody know? Leave it in the comments. I kind of mentioned it on every video, I think. All right, cheers. If you go fishing in the summer when it's hot, always take a cooler. Because, man, a cold drink just hits the spot every time. That's so funny. I grabbed a pair of scissors last night. I was talking to Mrs. Melissa about it. I said, you know, I think I'm going to grab those scissors in a bathroom. Those are pretty nice. Grabbed them, put them in a baggie. I've been looking for them all morning because that braid is hard to cut. Even I brought some kind of junk scissors and they're like, oh man, the braid, it won't hardly cut them. I looked and looked and looked in my duffel bag, in my lunch bag. I looked everywhere. I could not find them. I thought, man, I can't believe that I must have just laid them down or something. There they are. Guess where they were? Well, I'll give you a hint. They're cold. They feel cold. Yep, that's right. Mr. Lawrence put them in the cooler. Why? I don't know. Kind of a mystery. But here they are. Now I went ahead and put about a 10-foot leader on my bait caster that has the braided line, has the spider wire easy braid, and I went ahead and put a 10-foot leader of fluorocarbon on it. Took me about 4 times to tie it. You know, that was one thing I've done the last few days is I watched Roland Martin tie a bunch of knots, and I got out here and oh man, it's so much easier. Oh, just saw a nice fish jump. It's so much easier seeing it. I'm gonna throw a line in. Hold on, that might have been a keeper. Well, it's a little bit in the afternoon, probably about 1 or 2 o'clock. All the boats that were here all went home. They were only here until maybe 10 o'clock this morning or so, and they all just decided to leave. I don't know, maybe just people figure that when it gets hot like this, it is starting to warm up again. I don't know, getting close to 80, 85 degrees right now. I'm sitting here at the dam. The noise you hear, if you can hear it, is the dam overflow right here. I got one real good strike. I had a jig with a little tail, little swimmer at the end of it, and something bit one of the tails off, but I have not been able to get another bite since. So I think it's definitely time for me to go ahead and set up in another place, eat some lunch, and then try to keep on fishing, see what happens. Just lost another fish, daggone it. But it looked to me like it was probably a large bluegill, and being the fact that I'm using that hook, I bet that hook that's on there is probably about I don't know, maybe a 3/0, something like that. So it doesn't surprise me that a bluegill got off. You fish hard and you miss them, and every once in a while you land them. I think that was a frog or a big old cricket. You know, I talked about those boats. They all came out, you know, by 8 o'clock, and they're all gone by 10:30 or so. I just thought, you know, the fishing, you know, isn't that bad, so I wonder what the deal is. And then I realized it's the shade. None of them had shade. They were all 100% exposed to the sun, 100% all the time. I can't imagine staying out here longer than 2 or 3 hours in direct sunlight. Man, I don't care how much sunscreen you put on, you would just smoke, I would think. So, might be a good reason why they all left. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is one of the best parts of this boat right here, is having this shade right here so I can sit here and enjoy lunch and not worry about the sun just beating down on me 100%. It's like the perfect summer day. Very nice. Oh. Whoa. Something hit it big time. Something hit the frog big time. Dang it. Dang it. I threw it in some real thick weeds because I've seen some movement over there. and the live action frog landed, and I mean, bam! Something hit it. When I pulled it, I thought I had something on it, but it was just all that seaweed. Probably getting on 5 o'clock, I would think. Been out here on the lake since probably 5:30, 6. Probably got out on the water actually fishing about 6. So it's been a 12-hour day. Landed one in the boat. One big one got off right off the back there. I lost another one, which I think was a big bluegill, or it could have been a small bass. I'm not sure. Got a couple real good hits on the frog. If I remember right, the frog is hard to land them. Yeah, the hunting for bass is a whole different story. Whole different deal than just going out and just throwing a minnow in and seeing what you catch. Hunting for these bass, it's a different story. It's tough. There's no doubt it's tough. Man, right after I turned the camera, oh my gosh, one hit this frog, and I mean, it bent my rod down. I thought for sure I had him. Look at that, filled him full of water and everything. But somehow he got off. Holy cow. That was a good strike right there. That was like, bam, baby. Yeah, I gotta land those. I gotta land those. That was awesome. Okay, I see some pretty big boats coming in. I think I'm gonna call it a day on Celina Lake. Load these selvin up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at Indian Lake and see if I can even put on there or not. If I can, I might camp and go to Indian Lake tomorrow. I think I'm gonna pass on Patoka. Got a bass just hit right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and load the selvin up and go check out Indian Lake and see if the water's high enough where I can even put the selvin in the water. Well, if somebody was to come up and ask me, how'd you do today? Did you do any good? I guess my answer would be, you know what? If I would have landed in the boat everything I caught, it would have been a real good day. But I only got the one in the boat. One this morning, the very first one that I caught. I can't believe it got off. It was like, that was an amazing bass. That was probably going to be my personal record right there. And it got off. I think I got it on film where I'm struggling with it. The rod's bending over. I went to grab for the net. I was going to put it, and it just got off. There's another one, pretty good size. I was bringing him in, and he got off. Now, I don't know. I couldn't get a really good look at that one. That was either a bass or it was like a big bluegill. Anyways, he got off. Now, the frog, the live action frog I was using, I got probably a half a dozen hits on those. And that one right at the end there, man, he pounded it. He grabbed it, took it down. It felt like I set the hook. At least 6 of them get off. Pretty nice fish. But that's the way it goes. You know, I'm learning this stuff. It seems like everybody, all the pros, talk about that hook set. You know, it's just wham! You got to really set it hard. I don't know. It seems like I'm doing it whenever I feel it. It seems like I'm setting it, but maybe I'm just not aggressive enough, you know, to drive that hook, get a good bite. You know, these are different. This is a different breed of fish here. You know, these big bass are big deals, and I guess those guys are really wanting to hook them good before they try to get them in the boat. No bluegills, no crappies, nothing like that, but look at the baits that I'm using. I'm using live frogs, you know, big spinner baits, jigs with tails on them. So, you know, I don't really expect to get any of the smaller fish, the bluegills and the crappie and all that kind of thing, because the bait's too big. So that's what it comes down to. If you want to fish bass, if you want to be a bass master and get out there and catch the big bass, you got to throw the big lures. You're going to limit yourself, but I guess if you're hungry and you need fish, then you throw a little worm on there and go out there and fish all day long, catch the bluegill and the crappie. I appreciate you coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest, capital LAF Space Film Fest. Dang, fish keep getting off my line. At least I got the one. You know, the problem is, even some of them, not all of them, but some of them that got off, it's because I'm catching them and I'm trying to come over here and turn this camera on, and just that 5 seconds of releasing the pressure, holding the rod, turning the camera on, going back to the pressure, I think is enough to let them have a free pass out of jail, so to speak. I hate wearing one of them harnesses and putting it right here and filming everything, but you know, I might just have to do that. I don't know. Roland Martin, he doesn't put a harness on. Doesn't look like he puts a harness on, but he keeps his camera rolling, so he must burn up a lot of film footage, and if he doesn't do any good, he just goes, deletes it, formats the card, and redo it. And or if not, he's coming home with 200 gigabytes of stuff. I don't know. Anyways, I do appreciate you coming to the channel, and if you would, please hammer down that subscribe button. Hammer it like you're hammering a 16 penny nail at one strike. Bam! I appreciate it. Helps me to come places like this. Helps me to continue to grow with my fishing career, and then I can pass on all these things that I'm making a mistake doing. That maybe if you're thinking about getting into it, you'll say, hey, you know, Mr. Lawrence, you know, he was doing that wrong. Okay, since this is Discovery Zone for me, I can pass on some things that I'm learning. You pros, you already know this, but if you're a beginner, you may not. I didn't know it, I'm learning it. It made a difference putting fluorocarbon on that spinner reel rather than the old braid that I had on it. The old braid I had on it, I think, was green at one time, because when I stripped it all off, the closer I got to the end, the more green it got. So it had actually bleached itself out or something, so it was almost like white. There ain't no wonder I wasn't catching many fish the last couple times using it. Put the fluorocarbon on it, seemed to do better, seemed to at least be getting more bites. And I put a 10-foot leader on the bait caster, the Albu Garcia bait caster, and that seemed to work pretty good too. I'm back at my favorite campground here in the Hoosier National Forest. Got just enough time to go ahead and set camp up before it gets dark. Tomorrow we're going to go fish Indian Lake. So we fished Celina Lake today. That's twice we fished Celina Lake. I thought I can't justify leaving the National Forest tomorrow and not fishing Indian Lake also. I fished Indian Lake before in my canoe and did very well. We'll see how it goes. Let me get the camp all set up before it gets dark. Mosquitoes are bad. That's what Deep Woods Off is for. Should be a good night's sleep tonight. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be cooler. Down to 63, which is pretty nice. Maybe we'll hear some animals. How about some wolves? Probably not around here. Plenty of coyotes and bobcats. All right, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Grow up, come back and see me. I don't mind being alone. That part doesn't bother me at all. 'Cause when you're alone, you're with family, and that's the best company of all.